Pretty good. Just got this little delay here was fortuitous for us because we got to watch the A final, last end of the A final Ladies Scotties.
In the comfort of our own homes.
In the comfort of our own homes, exactly. So it looks like it'll be Chelsea Carey taking the A spot in the women's, but.
Yeah, and that was a big win there. And Barker now drops down to play the winner of Wisniewski and Silvernagel, which I think they were tied 7-7. So that would be going into a B semi.
And I'm just looking at that. Do I have the right draw here? I think Wisniewski won here. I see a 10-4 score here now. I don't know whether
the one I'm looking at says Silvernagel's winning 9-7.
Okay, I have the wrong draw here. I think that's what it is. So
that was last year, Eugene. You're looking.
Yeah. Oh, that's what happened last year. I was wondering what happened. So here we see, like when I click on scores for Silvernagel, I don't know. I'm getting Silvernagel losing 10-4 here when I click on the score per game. I couldn't know what I'm watching.
Let's try to get caught up in this game. Looks like we're into the third end already, Eugene.
Yes, and I'm just trying to pick up the score. My eyes aren't that good. Do you have better eyes than I do?
They're just marking it now, so it looks like another steal. It looks like the Team Owens is up 2-0 after the second end.
All right. That's coming from Swift Current, Saskatchewan. This one, where Heichert is the rink manager there.
Chris Heichert, yes. Yeah, they hosted the Best Western Showdown earlier, where they had a lot of the big teams from across Canada here, and they did a really good job. Yep.
Oh.
Okay. So we can talk all we want about him then, eh? He's not listening.
Okay, that's great.
So we got the two teams here, Eugene. They each won their games earlier today, and James Owens had a big win over Ryan Dice, and the Rylan Kleiter team, big win over the Bain team. So to advance into this game. Both teams are playing three-handed today. I do know the reason that the Kleiter team is. I'm not sure about the Owens team, if they're under COVID protocols as well, or what's happening.
Oh, I'm not surprised. Somebody said there was, in Saskatchewan, over 1,000 cases today.
Is that right, eh? Yeah,
it's close to 1,900 or over 1,000, but I just heard the chatter in the office here.
And that's only the reported PCR tests, right? That doesn't include all the people that are rapid testing and staying at home.
But it's interesting. I also heard the stats that for about a week now, the ICU numbers haven't increased in the hospitals, so it looks like it isn't taking people down and out. So
absolutely, yep. I was fortunate to get it and was very mild symptoms and very thankful for that. So I'm hoping that anybody else that gets it gets the same sort of effect.
And only a couple of days, you said?
Yeah, 2 days, and pretty much still isolated for 5, but 2 days I could have felt like I could have went out and did some more work again. Yeah. Okay, so we got Josh Botcher here subbing in for the Team Kleiter team this weekend, and we'll be throwing the lead rocks and one of the second rocks, obviously, with only 3 players. And Trevor Johnson is playing at third, and then Rylan Kleiter throwing the last 2.
Will the other guys be able to make it before the end of the week here, or what's the protocol with the other guys?
I don't think so. I think they tested late enough that they need to isolate, but I'm not 100% sure if they test negative, if they're able to come back or not. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I don't know what the waiting period is after testing negative.
So Josh Botcher with his second shot of the end was attempting a freeze there on the yellow Owens rock and came up a bit late. So now that will allow Owens to throw up a guard here again. Put some more pressure on the Kleiter team. Down 2 with hammer. And the second for the Owens team, I believe, is Carter Parento. I don't have anything else to say that it's not, but I could be wrong. I'm not sure which one's missing, actually.
Yeah, I haven't figured that out yet.
Your eyes are better than mine, Gene. Can you see the names on the back?
No, I just went to have an eye checkup, and they're telling me they're recommending me to a specialist to get cataract surgery. So,
okay.
So the guys can't make fun of me on the golf course anymore when I tell them I can't see my ball after 160 yards, and they say, "Well, with you, that shouldn't be a problem." This one is
looks
coming
like
around
Parento's
nicely.
walking back, so I'm guessing he might be playing the third.
Oh, okay.
We got Josh Botcher now with his third shot of the end, attempting a double peel with the out turn, pardon me.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking it was Josh Mattern, our lefty throwing. It would have been the in turn.
Yeah. And how are the boys feeling? Do you know, has this infection got them down pretty hard, or doesn't seem so bad?
I don't think so. I actually haven't heard since they tweeted to the team that they were, so I'm not sure where they're at. But.
Well, there's a good shot. Very good. Nice weight, tap it back, a little bit of a double, and I think to lie 2 now. We're still lying 2.
Are you watching the same game as I am?
Well, just a minute now. What have I got here? Oh, you know what? I went to YouTube. Whoa. I'm on the wrong game here. Huh. I'm on this morning's game.
Well, while you get fine-tuned into there, Eugene, we're going to continue on with Carter Parento's first shot of the end, attempting to replace that center guard.
Okay,
Some really nice curl on the ice here. And I don't know if he got it to curl enough. I think there might be an opening there for Trevor to come through the hole. Just deciding what kind of weight they want to throw here, I think. Rylan's talking board. Now he's saying maybe regular weight.
So, will they be able to...
Now they're talking peel guard, maybe.
Oh, okay.
No, I guess they're saying that's the option, is make sure you peel that yellow one on the right-hand side. That makes sense. So they did decide on a 10-second hit now.
I don't know, do you have a screen that's fairly large? Dean, my picture is awfully small.
I have 2 screens.
Yeah, I have 2 screens. Are they fairly small, or is it just me?
No, I got them full screen. You can click a button to make them full screen.
Oh, sure.
Now, where is that button, you asked? I think it's in the bottom right corner, I believe.
Oh, whoops. I clicked one, and you went full screen on me, Dean. You're half screen. Oh, here it is.
Of you and I. And then you can see just the game.
Oh, yeah. Now, that involves some technological savvy, and that's where I'm going to have issues. But, oh, here, just a minute. I found it here. There we go. I got rid of you, Dean, so no more pretty face Dean Kleiter.
Lucky you.
Here we go. Much better to watch now. Now I've got an idea. Oh, those are rocks and people, not ants and sand.
So Trevor had tried to come through that hole and was the intern curled up quite heavy on him and over-curled it, so they'll replace that guard.
Yeah, looks like a straight run back maybe would be in order.
There'll be some more run backs in place, yep. We've had a bit of trouble with the run back so far when I was watching earlier, so we'll have to
Oh no, it looks like he just wants to open things up. Probably a good idea because you got to open up an escape hatch here too. If you don't make the run back and they keep replacing the guard, well, and also there's a danger of also knocking their own stone out of the top of the 12 foot.
Looks like Josh is trying to lift the rock for Trevor. Trevor's got to spend a little more time in the gym, I guess, eh?
Oh my goodness.
There he goes.
Boy.
What a nice boy. Fixes his rock for him.
My goodness. Those guys are falling on some tough times. COVID, lacerated finger.
Looks like they've decided to try to get rid of a bunch of the front ones with an outturn here.
Yeah, I think he could, if he hits it right, could do maybe a double and roll into the rings. That would be a tough shot, but here it comes.
He comes
nice weight. One. Oh, just about got off the backside of the yellow one.
Yeah, tried to hit the yellow one first and ended up hitting the red.
Oh, is that what happened? Okay.
So now that really gives a big opportunity for that Owens team to get another one sucked in there with the outturn, and Team Kleiter will be scrambling.
Yeah, it looks like Rylan will be tested again this end.
Now they're just deciding about where they want to put that guard, and I think where they've indicated with the top 12 foot is probably ideal.
Yeah, you just don't want to come perfectly around and line up for a run back triple. If we can come and get a corner around, that'll make the triple difficult.
So Carter Parento with the outturn come around. Looks like lots of curl there. They had dice into the 12 foot.
Yeah, nice curl on this ice.
He's going to get by the guard by a fair bit.
Well, they're coming right in on top of the other one, it looks like.
And now they're finishing up nice.
Very good.
Great shot.
Well, here's the opportunity. Like I said, if they lined him up, there'd be a straight back triple.
Yeah, this is what the thirds get paid the big bucks for, to make these run backs straight on the nose.
Man, this game is sure different when we were recruiting. Maybe we throw one of these once a game. That'd be if we really had to, but now it's commonplace. 1, 2.
And if you get unfortunate, that's what happens.
Oh my goodness. Talk about tough luck. Good throw.
Yeah, 1 inch, or I should say a quarter inch on either side, and you got a beauty. Right there, just not so good.
Yeah, they can really put the heat on if they come around with the third stone here.
For sure. I think you put it back to that exact same spot, Eugene, eh?
Or a little bit, I think maybe just outside the house a little bit. If you can get, again, like I thought the first one, if they would have just come around to the top of the 12 foot partially around, would have been a good one.
Yeah, you're right. I think they got anything, we'll have anything on that yellow guard, high guard, onto the red, onto yellow.
Yeah, might be a desperation shot. Raise triple or raise triple. Double, raise, double. That's double.
Yeah.
Just like going through the Tim's drive-thru.
Double. Here of the skip here, James Owens going to throw his outturn draw, getting in, trying to tuck another one in there to really put some pressure on Team Kleiter.
Good curl on this ice, isn't there? There's about 5 feet of curl on a draw shot.
They're sweeping this one hard.
Yeah,
they got to get this one over.
He's getting a lot of pressure on that brush.
Really good sweeping with one sweeper.
Very good. And the rock ends up in a pretty good spot.
Probably right where you said you'd like to see it.
Yeah. It's going to make the run back triple pretty tough here. Although I think he's got to try it. He's got to try to run their red one across the top of the yellow one and try to get the yellow one off the button.
Pretty much a nose hit, Eugene. You know, you hit that right on the nose. I think you might have a double to sit one, or you might sit one red if you're fortunate enough.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Depends how much that red drags when it gets hit the second time. The other thing, I guess, if you do hit nose, then you're only hitting that red at about a 3/4. Will that give you enough speed to double the yellows out? Would be the question.
Well, I think they could. Well, we'll see what's going to come of this one.
Which will be a bit of speed. And he'll be not even too close on that one.
Well, at least it's a red one up front.
Yeah,
might help him out somehow.
Like they may only have that draw to the button on the last one, so I think if I was Owens, I'd be taking that draw to the button away, would you not?
Yeah, well, exactly. Like what I usually do in situations like this, look at the house and say, if I didn't throw, if it was their turn to throw, what do they play? And then you deal with the strategy accordingly. You either stop or block their shot, or you create something where they have to chase you.
Yep. And there is only one way to get to the button.
Yeah. That's what they're doing. They're looking at. Remind you, they may be
they're looking at guard the center, but I don't know. I see they're maybe trying to split the center, but then that gives them the run back, because right now the run back isn't there.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to be giving Kleiter a little bit off the hook here. If they make this guard, it'll be more of the center line guard.
Well, it should be, but we'll see where it ends up. I was just noticing in the BC Men's Curling Championships, they've got one more. They've got an A event winner already there, declared in the men's provincials. Paul Seek, and then Richards, and already one in the C determined, and that's Tyler Tardy, somebody that Rylan has curled against. Yep. Probably all too many times, huh?
Yeah, we've been on the Kleiter team's been on the wrong edge a few times with those guys, as they're two-time world champions.
Wow.
In juniors. You said they're in the C qualifier then?
Yes, they won the C spot, and the other C spot is being determined between Jim Cotter and Sebastian Robillard. Okay. And I will put him into the page playoff.
So James Owens with his guard attempt, looking like it's going to over curl here, unless he's going to get a split. It looks like they were trying to guard some kind of tap back, because I think that draw around to the button is still going to be there. This T-line weight.
I would say that's your better percentage shot. Although it's fairly tough, you're going into a piece of the ice that hasn't been played that much in this end, so it's a bit of a guess as far as line. I see Rylan put the broom down, brush down, showing where a draw to the button would be, and then just pulled it over about another foot.
Yep,
which is interesting. Yeah, that's a good way to do it.
So to be in the hands here of the sweeper Trevor by himself to judge and sweep this one to get it right to the. They need full 4 foot.
Yep.
Which normally that's a pretty high percentage shot for this team.
Yeah.
But when you are down to one sweeper, and not only the sweeping, but the judging gets a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, it's a little harder. Definitely a little harder.
Here we go, last rock in number 3. Trevor's broom down.
Did Trevor usually wear white gloves? I don't remember that.
He has been. Looks like he's cleaning it right now. Now they got lots of room.
Oh yeah, room isn't the issue. Here it comes. Be close.
It looked like it didn't get to curl up enough, or is it because it's heavy? Be another steal for the Owens team. Be 3 in a row.
Yes, we were mentioning that Alberta's down to, or BC's down to their 4th qualifier, and I'm just trying to figure out where Alberta's at.
Saskatchewan, you know SaskTel because we're everywhere. Because being everywhere keeps us connected to you. You are what matters most. With SaskTel sponsorships, we get to be a part of your community. From the dance competitions, to the rodeos, to helping discover and embrace technology across the province, we're here with you and we're here for you. It's easy to get started. All you need to do is apply. Every year, SaskTel contributes nearly $3 million to approximately 1,000 nonprofits, charities, associations, and events in more than 200 communities across Saskatchewan. So keep dancing, keep laughing, keep discovering, and we'll be there to help, to lend a hand, and join in the fun. SaskTel cares. Always has, always will, because we are dedicated to our home. To apply for sponsorship, visit sasktel.com/sponsorships.
Owens robbed Kleiter of another one here. Rylan having to try a tough draw, coming wide and into the 4-foot, just a bit heavy.
3 steals back to back. It gives the Owens team a 3-0 lead going into the 4th end. You're going to see a lot of rocks in play, trying to get stuff generated, taking a few chances. The question will be is how hard will they go, and sometimes that can backfire if you go too hard. But
yeah.
We'll see if they know when to bail, when they got to get those hits going. The Owens team has been playing very well and getting those rocks into great spots that have made for a little lower percentage shots for the
no
team.
Kidding. They've thrown a lot of really good, placed a lot of really good shots.
And they've started the 4th end the same way.
Yes, they're not being kind. They're not going to make many friends in this game, are they?
So Josh Botcher here with his second shot after throwing a nice corner guard will attempt a freeze on that yellow one on the button. Trevor was keeping it clean, and now it's decided it's time to go. Now he's off it. Must be very close.
Yeah.
Looks like it might be a little heavy. A little bit of a whiff. man in throwing the second stone as well is Josh Usick. Will just attempt a nice easy tap back and perhaps roll underneath that center guard, and will put his team in a really good spot.
Sure would. They're sweeping it hard. And
very nice shot.
Well thrown.
They might have let it go a little bit too far there.
Oh, yes.
They were so worried about getting by the center guard that didn't realize that they need to sweep it. So Josh will try the exact same shot. Try to get a little better line on this one.
Yeah. Put more heat on the Kleiter team.
Pretty close weight with them clean by Trevor to start. Now he's going hard.
Looks like he's just got to curl a little bit, let it finish.
There's a pretty nice
very
shot.
Nice shot.
Well swept, well thrown. Good team shot.
Mm-hmm.
And James is going to ask Carter just to freeze right on top of that one, and has elected the out turn though, rather than the in turn that Kleiter threw, that maybe was a little bit straighter side perhaps.
Boy, that ice has got a lot of curl when you're coming out into the 12-foot for a shot like this.
The line is looking pretty good if he's got the right weight.
It's got a curl.
Oh, it is off the curl yet. A little rub on the red. Kleiter's going to like that one.
He is. Gives him a chance to make a double. Or will he just try to push it back a bit?
You know, I don't mind that just coming down and moving the yellows back. And
Yep.
Hurry, Ben, hurry. Good, you got it.
Well, maybe coming into the freeze right now probably wouldn't be bad.
He's going to ask Trevor to come in and have a look at. Freezing isn't bad. If they ever throw a guard, then you're a little bit of trouble. But is it too early to, or too late to play the freeze yet? Or what about back 12-foot weight, Gene, and just hit it just off nose?
Oh yeah, that would be excellent. And then you roll in behind the center guard, and then move the two yellow ones to the back of the 4-foot.
Yeah.
That would be a great shot.
But you have to pretty much hit on the inside, because if you roll to the outside, you're going to leave a pretty much automatic double.
Yeah.
I think that's the key. And in order to get the inside roll, you maybe have to throw hard enough, otherwise you're not going to get enough of that one on the button, are you?
Well, that's the dilemma here. To get that one off the button, you're going to have to hit it on the outside, or as you indicated, with lots of weight on the nose. So this looks like good hackish bumper weight by the ice.
I think that's what they decided on. This one's really curling. You have to get it by the guard first.
Not quite.
Nope, not gonna like that one.
No, for sure. I may just bung it up more with another guard.
Or will they end up hitting that red? Maybe it doesn't.
Well, I guess they do. Yeah, you're right. They can see enough of it. Oh, sure, they can see enough of it. Yeah, absolutely. When you're up 3, just get rid of the counters.
Yeah, that was a pro miss. Would have been to make sure you err on the outside and at least make sure you get contact on that yellow.
Yeah, there's the right way to miss and the wrong way to miss. This one was the wrong way to miss.
So Owens will throw now to try to sit 4 yellow after this shot. It's Carter Parento with his second or third shot on this end. They're on it right away out of his hand. This one going to overcurl too.
Tick? No?
There's going to be a big break for Team Kleiter there.
Wow.
He's not
Pushed it
gonna
in
like that
behind the guard, too.
Now potential double to sit 3 for the red, maybe? Oh no, there's another yellow over there on the other side. I don't know. I think the hit and roll under is the shot right now, Gene. What do you think?
Yeah, hit and roll under. And even if you roll a little too far, you've got another guard out front, so definitely come under cover somewhere. There he goes. Must have heard you, Dean.
Well, we have that ear. There's the earpiece in his ear there, you know, like
it's like the NFL.
him and Peyton Manning, you know. We've watched these boys a lot of years, Eugene, and it's funny how many times they will call a shot that doesn't be right, but in our minds they're not the right call, and then they end up changing to what we feel is the right call. It's kind of funny. And it's not something that you almost, it's a bit of an innate thing, as you know, when you're doing the skipping thing. There's certain things that you know you need to do.
Yes.
Or did they decide on the roll or the double now, Gene? I missed that.
I think it's still the roll. By the looks of the ice there, that's the hit and roll undercover.
Holy, this one is way out there.
And what do we have here? One.
Boy, that was not good.
Oh, that's not working out that well for them.
Here, one person gives it a chance, the other one gives it back. Now again, the Owens team were able to hit and sit 3 again, I think.
Here, you have it. No, you have it.
Yeah.
A busy weekend across the 3 western provinces, BC and Alberta. They've all got their men and women's provincial playdowns. Alberta's men and women are in Grand Prairie, and BC men and women are in Kamloops.
And there was a couple of provinces declared their champions today, I believe, as well.
Oh, really? I'll have to.
That was the Ontario ladies declared Rachel Homan.
Oh, okay.
And the Quebec ladies declared Laurie St. George.
Oh, again, she's back again. Good for her.
Yeah,
And there's a lady who's
COVID
about
must have decided they weren't going to be able to run their provincial in a safe way, I guess.
Oh. Yes, have you heard anything about the mixed doubles yet? Have they determined what's going to happen there for a Canadian team for the Olympics?
I have not, and I think that has a bit. I can't remember the exact news story, but with Rachel Homan's team being selected to go to the Scotties, something to do that if she also gets selected to go to mixed doubles, that may change the team they select to Scotties. Something like that. I don't know 100%.
I still have the hunch that if they're going to look at having a team for the mixed doubles that's maybe can best deal with the situation, I wouldn't be surprised if they went back to Morris and Law. Although Caitlin's going to be over there anyway.
Yeah, yeah. It's not an easy decision for Curling Canada, that's for sure.
No kidding, Dean. It's got to be a nightmare for Jerry Peckham and company.
Trevor Johnson trying to get a little hit in the inside roll, and again hit on the opposite side of the rock that they were hoping to. So something's going on with that out turn, I think.
Is that the hand that he cut his finger on, or maybe that's
Maybe. If it isn't, we're going to have to put a cut into it. So Owens will try to get another one tucked in there to sit his 2, I guess that would be, or 3 maybe.
for sure 2, and like you say, possibly 3. I think it's 3. It would be 3.
It's hard to say. That top yellow or the top red one in the top small foot. Is that one second shot, or do you think the
yellow shot rock, when we're looking at the full picture, would be the one on the left and the one on the right. When you look at the overhead camera, it almost looks like the yellow one is in more.
the one on the right is in more, isn't it? On the bottom right?
Yeah, on the bottom, on the overhead camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, the yellow is in more, and the ring's more. And on the left, I think the yellow might be. No, I don't know. It's pretty close between them.
It's hard to say. Regardless, I think Kleiter's going to have to try to score 1 here, and you never know. A skipper's deuce is always available, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're just going to place this one right into the open, or maybe even a little further, a little through.
Oh, it's still got a little bit of zip. Is there enough to play to come around the guard? Not really, is there?
Pretty tough shot. If you don't make it, then they're going to be guarded, and you'll be in big trouble. But
yeah, you could do that right where. Is that Rylan indicating? Yeah, that'd be Rylan indicating a draw right there.
Yep.
No, and
Probably
that's
the call.
Yeah, it's a good call, and also there's a good chance that whatever happens, Rylan will be drawing with his last draw again. It's always nice as a skip if you get to throw 2 shots the same back to back.
Yep.
So it's going to be a good opportunity for him to get a feel for draw weight.
Yeah, I think after having hammer for 4 ends, they're going to want to score a point here.
Yeah.
This is going to be their main
They
goal.
got to change. They just got to change the mode of play here.
Sometimes you have to say, if you can't use the hammer, give it to the other guys. Maybe they won't be able to either. Looks like they've elected the hit and roll under.
Mm-hmm.
Owens kind of stopped that one in the right spot. You know, if it was a little further back, then Kleiter would be drawing. But if you're a little higher, you can get a nice roll. So probably not a bad spot.
Oh, it's good. Well positioned.
This is not going to be good either. They're going to go right by and miss everything. Holy, that one really curled. So they either haven't figured the ice out, or that was a really bad turn on the, which is out turn is usually not going to make it curl. It usually falls back a bit.
Yeah, it seemed that way. So I might have grabbed something. I'm not sure.
Maybe.
It was almost bad
Like
enough.
it just
missed
about
it
hit
was a good grab.
Yeah, it just about hit the guard. So when it does that, you think, holy, something's not figured out. Owens now has got a great opportunity to sit 4, 3 for sure.
And
Make another hard shot for Kleiter to score his 1 point.
and make it difficult for Kleiter's last rock.
Well, you know they are missing their former players that they play with. As you know, Gene, it's not that easy to flop a new player into your team, even though they can be the best shooters. It just the team dynamic is just not the same when you don't have the same players in.
No, you're right, Dean. It's just the common understanding and the communication, the trusting of what the other person can do.
So much that a team takes for granted when you're playing a lot together.
Absolutely. Always maintain trust is the strongest force that you can have. Trusting that you can do what you have to do, trusting that others can do what they have to do, and you can arrive at that. With the team, you know that you got everybody where they have to be.
Even throwing a shot like this, right? When you know you've got your two sweepers that can bring it 8 feet out of your hand, and they know your release and your extension, and it's such a big difference.
Yeah, they can tell right at release whereabouts the stone is going to end, and so they'll know from experience what they have to do.
But regardless, you still got to throw the nice rock. So here's Kleiter facing 2, maybe 3, needing to hit the full 4 once again to score a single point and get on the board. Trevor has broom down out of his hand.
Yeah, it looks close. Nobody's overly anxious.
Still lots of room by the guard, which usually means it's got enough weight.
Yeah. Oh. And
Did it stop in time? Yes, it does.
Yes.
So, score of 1 for Kleiter and number 4. We're at the midway point of the game between James Owens and Rylan Kleiter.
Saskatchewan, you know SaskTel because we're everywhere. Because being everywhere keeps us connected to you. With SaskTel sponsorships, we get to be part of your community. We're here with you and we're here for you. It's easy to get started. All you need to do is apply. SaskTel cares. Always has, always will. To apply for sponsorship, visit sasktel.com/sponsorships.
Welcome back to the Swift Current Curling Club. We've got Team Kleiter playing Team Owens in the second game of the SaskTour Players Championship. And Kleiter finally got on the board in the 4th with a single, and Owens leads 3-1. Just a little update on the other games going on in the other sheets. We have Jacobson leading Andrews 3-1 after 3, and Andrews has the hammer. We got St. John is leading Meacham 4-2, and Meacham has hammer after 4. And Cars is up 4-1 on Zurloff, and Zurloff has hammer. Knapp and Eade are tied at 3 apiece going into the 5th. And the gamble game, we've got Jeff Hartung, or Cody Hartung, I'm not sure which one that is, leading 3-2 on Gamble, and Hartung has hammer.
thanks, Dean. So we'll see Kleiter try to junk up the front, and we'll see Owens try to get the play into the rings.
Yeah, and Josh Uzak there was trying to come around the center and actually left the second center guard now for Team Kleiter. So they'll say thank you for that and get one right around there.
Yeah.
I know Matthew Pan is probably watching and he just wished he could throw right now and sink one in the top 4.
And I'm sure he'd put it there.
Yeah, he's pretty good at that.
Yeah. I think he's thrown a few of those over the years.
So Josh Botcher kept come around to the top 4. Looking like a lot of room by the guard right now.
Yes. Well, maybe they're just. I thought they called for in behind. Looks like this is going to be more of a guard.
They might want to stop it or before it gets in the house.
Or are they going to get it around enough? Boy, that sure had a lot of finish, huh?
It did at the end, yeah. There's probably a point where they probably should have said, no more sweeping.
Yeah.
And that might have been at the near hog line.
Plan B.
So Josh Uzak will just remove this rock. Try to roll it into the house to sit a shot rock for sure. This is really curling there too. Wow.
Look at that. They chipped out their own stone.
It's a couple there that we've seen curl quite hard once it got close to the center line.
Alberta's got their men and women's playdowns on this weekend. So far in Alberta, Cooey has, it's a triple knockout. He's qualified out of the A. Hardy is qualified out of the B. And we've got Sturmey and Jakes playing at 7 o'clock this evening. And Appleman and Weeb playing for the other C spot.
That's interesting. It seems to be the top seeds always find a way, don't they, to get to the end? Josh again throwing the out-turned guard, and this one has come up a little bit light and a little bit wide as well again. I'm not sure if his is, sometimes it's the adjustment to how the new person throws the rock, maybe, not having the right ice for the release.
Oh, yes.
But I guess if it came into a tight 3, it might have been a good weight, a good line.
The Owens team is still going to look at peeling off the front two, so leaving some distance between those two rocks was an all right thing for Kleiter.
Yeah, for sure. So this double attempt has a lot of potential to jam as well and leave another center guard. But if he does double these out, it'll be guard for your lifetime for Team Kleiter. Pretty close. They're not pretty now. They got a broom on it.
1, 2, and
really good shot.
A very good shot. Open up the front. Also, the Alberta women are playing in Grand Prairie at the same time as the men, and out of the 3 provinces, Alberta, or BC, Alberta, and Saskatchewan, Alberta women are the only ones that have a round-robin format. Everybody else is going triple knockout. And in Alberta women, there's Shy Digger, Rock, and Laura Walker at 6-1.
And I believe they had a smaller number of entries in their provincial versus the men too, for some reason. So they ran a different.
Yeah, they had 8 women's teams in the women's, and the men's just.
I believe they had 12, but they lost one. I think one was disqualified due to COVID protocol, if I'm not mistaken.
It looks 2, 3, 4, 6, 11. Yes, they had 11 teams, so they lost one team in the men's in Alberta.
Right. Trevor Johnson with the attempted center guard, and this one overcurled probably about 5 inches, so they're going to decide whether they want to take a crack at that. And it's only in the full 8 foot, so it's maybe not that big of a deal to go after it right now, but see what they decide.
Looking for the angle, looking at the angle for a double peel here.
Yeah, and this could come off of that red and roll to the center line too. We've seen that happen many times in our career, Eugene.
For sure. It's going to be the one peel.
Yeah, good shot.
And of course, that's the main one. You don't have to worry so much about the one over in the wings. It's the rock on the center line or blocking the center line that you have to get out of the way.
That's right. So Rylan will just ask Trevor to replace that guard.
In BC, they're running a triple knockout with the men's, and I don't know, Dean, how do you pronounce C-S-E-K-E? Are you familiar with Paul? Is it Secchi?
I was looking at that earlier. I don't know how to actually pronounce that one.
And Jeff he came out of the A, and then Jeff Richard came out of the B. Tardy came out of the C, and Cotter came out of the C. So they're into the playoffs.
Playoffs there, eh?
Yeah, and then in the BC women, we've got Kaylin McMillan, and then Marianne Arsenault. She's was skipping the senior team for BC that lost the Canadian final to Sherry Anderson here not that long ago, before Christmas. And there's a Corinne Brown, and they're the next strand for the 4th spot right now in the C.
Yeah, that's a really good team too. You'll see them at the end, I'm sure.
The Corinne Brown?
Yeah.
And did they work their way through the junior ranks not that long ago? I don't.
They have, yeah. They haven't been out of juniors that many years yet. Back at this game, Trevor was attempting to guard that, and instead of over curling the guard, this time they weren't able to get it curl enough. So I'm not sure if there's a bit of a confusion where they're icing or if we're just not throwing the rock the same both times.
Well,
but it ended up still being a guard that they can get a better one around now anyways to the top 4. I thought you might have seen the Owens team try to double peel those off and get rid of everything. Regardless, Trevor gets another opportunity here to get one in there. Line looks a little
line's
better.
Good. Line is really good here. Although the finish is hard, so.
Will it have enough weight?
There we go. And
it was by, but needed a little more weight there. But still a pretty good shot.
Yes, it is.
Great sweep by there. The substitute Josh Botcher. I'm sure he hasn't swept a lot of rocks this year, so he'll be feeling it, I'm sure, by the end of the night or the weekend. I know it was a last-minute decision for the Team Kleiter to decide if they were going to even field the team for this event, knowing they couldn't bring 2 or actually 3 because Steve Laycock's been playing with them this year too, and he had other commitments this weekend. So
he's with who? Oh, he just couldn't make it this weekend. I see.
Yeah. So Trevor and Brown were throwing down ideas, and because it is does account for points towards the tankard. They are in the race for that, and they felt that it was probably a good idea to go after some more points here and see if they can secure that spot at the tankard.
Well, there was a very good shot by Owens, run back double.
Very nice.
But he still leaves his rock out front, so there's cover for Rylan to come around.
Yeah, definitely an opportunity when you've got a center guard. There's always a chance.
We've been talking about the other provinces. The Saskatchewan Ladies Scotties is on in Shaunavon and Chelsea Carey won the A spot, and in the B event, still 4 teams left. Silvernagle and Barker playing this evening, and Ashley Howard and Amber Holland on the other side. So they've got still a ways to go there. This is just the semifinal in the B.
Yeah, I was watching that the A final there with Chelsea, Carey, and Barker earlier today, and Chelsea's definitely a player. She makes some pretty big shots.
Yeah.
Well, Rylan's come around draw here. The line is pretty good if he's got the right weight. Trevor fingering it right to the button.
Very nice. So they'll be playing the straight back double.
Yeah, they just played that shot. I'm sure they'll play it the same one again.
Yep.
Although it will be a different player because it was their third that made the last double, so now it'll be their skip, James Owens, attempting that.
Yes, pretty much the who's who of Saskatchewan curling this weekend there, except for Dunstone and Colton Flashes.
Colton Flash, yeah.
We've got Jacobson, Andrews, Meacham, St. John, Cars, Zurlov, is it Zuralov? Zuralov, Knapp, Eid, Gamble, and Hartung. Lots of juniors that have come up through the ranks. That's good to see.
It is, yeah. It's great to see, and hopefully they stick around and take your lumps a little bit, but hang in there, right?
Yeah.
It's an out-turn run back. We've seen a few curl here, Eugene, so it'll be interesting to see if we do get an over curl here or not. This one's looking pretty good.
Curling hard. And
I guess you could say it was an over curl, but he still made it. Good shot.
Still got it out, yes. And the guard rolled over to a corner guard, so worst case scenario, Owens will have to draw maybe full 8 foot if Rylan comes around with a really good draw behind the corner guard.
Yes, that would be the... And that's, the fifth end, that's a big end to try to get a force even is really an accomplishment. It's a goal. Because hit your 2 or 3 in the 6th and you're right back in the game. What you don't want to hear is give them a blank. That would be the worst.
Yeah.
Trevor and Josh just discussing the weight. It'll be a very similar weight that it was down the last shot. Trevor just cleaning it at the moment. Must be fairly close.
Yeah, looks.
Now he's off it. Does that mean we're a little strong?
It's got to curl a bit.
Definitely a lot of room, and is it heavy? All he got to do is stick in the house.
Oh yeah. Well, the force is
able
on.
to do it. Mission accomplished, I guess. Yep.
The force or a steel? Somebody's counting. We just had the extra end played in BC for the last spot of the C event in the women's Scotties, and Sarah Wark defeated Diane Gushalak. So that's going to be Wark, Brown, Arsenal, and McMillan in the playoffs in the BC Scotties.
And that'll be a game tonight yet?
Just.
No, we've got a sweeper coming up to help at the hog line.
Yes, they might have pulled the string.
This is some good sweep, and they're going to have to go hard.
Good. And hard they are. Wow.
It's still going.
It is still going.
Oh my goodness.
That was a steal.
Came up light on that. One heavy, one light. So after end number 6, or 5, pardon me, the Kleiter team is stolen. So Eugene, it looks like you don't want to have Hammer in this game. 3-2 going into 6.
Every trailblazer has naysayers. Every innovator, cynics. Every leader, skeptics. Anyone with a vision for their future has faced doubters in their past. So, this is our message to the doubters. You can't stop this farmer. You can't stop invention. You can't stop progress. You can't stop science. You can't stop this farmer. You can't stop family. You can't stop heart. You can't stop harvest. You can't stop this farmer. You can't stop the desire to make your mark, make your fortune, and make anyone who has ever doubted eat their words. You can't stop this farmer. So let's silence the doubters. Let's outgrow, let's outyield, let's outwork, let's outsmart. Let's look to the future and bust through.
Saskatchewan, you know SaskTel, because we're everywhere, keeping you connected to your family and friends, to your history and culture, to those traditions that make us who we are. SaskTel cares, always has, always will, because we're dedicated to our home.
It seems like they're all still intact.
All right. Welcome back to the Swift Current Curling Club and the Saskatchewan Curling Tour Men's Championship. We're here in going in end number 6 here with Team Owens leading 3-2 on Kleiter. Kleiter just came up with a big steal in the 5th end to get a bit of momentum back, I'm sure. However, this rock they just threw now might take a bit away from that momentum. And it does not make it over the hog line.
Not sure what that was about, but
I didn't see that release either. Then it just ground up on him pretty hard. So Owens will throw up the corner guard, try to generate that all-important deuce in the 6th and even end. Great end to be scoring.
right.
Or did they call this one in the house, maybe?
Well, I guess knowing that Kleiter is down and they'll be throwing guards, I guess to simplify the game, they're just going to play it into the rings or try to simplify the game.
I guess so, eh? Yep.
And then
They're quite
take
okay
whatever-
with giving a blank here even too, I guess. And
take whatever happens. You know, we were talking earlier during the commercial break how Alberta, or BC, Alberta, and Saskatchewan went ahead with their playdowns, whereas other provinces have been just declaring their champions, and there's been very few cases of COVID appearing in these playdowns. So Alberta did lose one team initially. Instead of 12, they ended up with 11 teams, but it seems to be intact.
yeah, they seem to be running a pretty safe event, so, which is good to see. So Josh redeemed himself there and put up a nice center guard, and game on.
No. Well,
A bit tight on that one, I think, and
tight,
did
maybe
leave
a
him-
bit light.
little light too, and left himself a corner guard, so he may want to use that one in the end. But a good opportunity here for Kleiter to get around that center guard and force some peeling action on the Owens team. You know, we talked about, I think there is one team in Alberta that actually is, they're a 3-person team on purpose. They don't have a fourth. I'm not sure if because they enjoy throwing 3 rocks each and sweeping all those rocks. And I sometimes wonder, you don't usually need 2 sweepers all the time, but
Right.
it's certainly helpful to have a second one there to help, if nothing else, with the judging of it and helping support the other sweeper.
And also, if you've got sweepers that can sweep both sides to spell one off, and the other sweeper to sweep the stone.
Yep. This is an interesting call.
So they're going aggressive. They're going after the points. They want to, as you indicated earlier, Dean, 6th end. You'd like to score in the even ends now at this stage of the game.
Yeah. So they're going to take a chance to get around that center guard. Looks like their line is pretty good right now.
It's pretty hardcore sweeping.
That is really curling hard.
Was it ever?
Get her just by, and beautiful shot.
Wow.
I guess that's why they played that shot, Eugene, right?
Yeah. It looks like there may be a way through there with the outturn.
I think so. Do you play just the freeze on that yellow right now, or do you try to make a, I think
a freeze is all right, because I'm sure there's going to be something happening in close where we're in tight to the button for the rest of the end. So a freeze would be fine, because it'll give you a chance maybe to play a run back or a double with whatever comes later. Because you know that when you've got a rock in the button and you're throwing another one, or a rock in the 4-foot, another one coming into the 4-foot, they'll probably be doing something the same, except this was a little bit light.
the good news with that is you got another center guard. That's about it.
Yeah, and actually 2 red rocks lined up for a double push.
Yep.
Or
So now they got to decide: are they going to start peeling some center guards, or are they going to put another one in there?
yeah, interesting. Right now, it doesn't look like the Owens team will be in a good position to get a deuce, so maybe they...
There is a time when you got to turn that switch, right, and say, okay, we're in a good spot here. But Kleiter will always have that red run back to be in a really good position too, though. Yeah.
And with Owens throwing another one in here around that guard, it just may make that run back easier for Kleiter, and that he'll have 2 stones as targets in the house.
Yep. So they're calling up weight right now. As Carter threw that one, he was pulling his hand up, saying, I think this is a little heavy. He's coming down into it, though.
Yeah, it is. You know, he was maybe wide enough out there where the ice was a little heavier.
It's a pretty good spot.
Really good spot.
Wait for it, Tyler. Brandon, stay close.
Well, we
How
need
do you run the red one back into the yellows and try to double off the yellow ones, or do you try to...
I'm thinking I'd leave that center one, Eugene, and go after those other 2 reds.
Yeah.
Because then if nothing else, you open up that shot rock too, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But this can be good too, as long as you make sure you hit on the left-hand side of that rock a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And you make sure you get rid of that yellow, one yellow anyways.
Oh, there he
is.
This one's close.
It's really close.
Just through the hole.
Wow.
Trevor's had a few of those today where it's just another on the wrong side of that millimeter.
Oh, that's unfortunate. So close. Another half an inch on the contact, and he could have got a yellow double.
Yeah, it would have been maybe a triple even, eh?
Maybe even a triple. You're right.
Yeah. Now the Kleiter team's in a whole lot of, what do they say that?
Caca?
Caca?
Yep.
That's the Ukrainian word for trouble, is it not, Eugene?
That's right. Or like too many alligators in the swamp is the English translation to caca. Yeah, Owens can plug this up on this one side here by coming into the top of the 12-foot and really making it difficult for anything good to happen for Kleiter.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure that center guard was the one. You know, you could even ran that yellow corner in,
Yeah,
right?
that was
And then open things up a bit.
yeah.
You couldn't get a lot of good things by hitting that center guard.
Unless you made just an incredible, perfect shot, but it sure didn't leave you any leeway for error or advantage.
Nope. Looks like they're kind of double guarding the guard, double guards.
Might be a little bit heavy. Ticket. Well, that really plugged up any
Yeah,
run backs now. Wow.
There's not much good can happen there now.
Or can he see enough of the red one? I think he's looking at it.
He just hits what he can see, I think, Eugene. I think there's a chance.
Yeah, you're right.
And even if you end up hitting the yellow a little bit first, it's not yet like that, yeah. Like he's talking there, just nicking yellow. You can still get rid of a lot of them.
Yeah.
You just got to make sure you air tight on this.
That's right. There's a right way to miss this and a wrong way. The right way to miss it is to clip off the yellow and the red. Boy, another really precise shots. The Kleiter team has thrown a lot of those. It's always tough when you've got to make your shots within a quarter of an inch, rock after rock.
So he's given just about center of the rock, so they're not anticipating much curl here.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't throw that too hard either.
And oh, he did.
Did over curl a bit.
Yeah.
Yellow will still sit 3.
Yeah, Owens can make it really tough again by not even throwing anything. They'll be leaving it tough.
Yeah, that's what like you always say, Gene, what do I not want the opposition to see? And you're right. I don't know that he has to throw a rock here.
Yeah, you sit there and say, okay, if I was the opposition, what would I be throwing? And you go, holy crap.
His only shot is that run back.
Yeah, the only shot is a run back, so now you got to deal with that.
They haven't left the skipper in a lot of good situations at the end of the end.
No,
for sure.
No, it's been knee deep in granite most ends. Last end was a little more wide open than we'd seen for a while, but we're back to a junky end.
This is Carter Peranto's second shot or third shot of the end. He's going to try to throw that guard up again. Going it a little bit outside right now. But we know it does curl here a lot at the end.
Yes. Here it comes. They just don't want to line it up for a straight back somehow. And
did it curl up enough? Take away the straight back? I think it might have just curled up enough.
Pretty close.
Well, now they're trying to orchestrate a circus shot here
I
someplace.
was going to say, do you see anything, Eugene?
No.
Oh,
It's not
maybe that
because-
outside yellow hit and roll to the button, maybe?
It's not because I've got bad eyes. It's just really, really tough situation. Come off the outside of that yellow one and roll onto the button. Man, is that precise? How do you?
Or you
You
run
call
that
it.
red, but then you're playing that shot almost like Trevor tried.
Mm-hmm.
A bit of a Hail Mary, but you could get a double, maybe triple.
Well, I think if you won the red one and your shooter rolls out of the way there, that would be also quite good because it may open something up.
I think if he sticks red onto red here, Gene, he could get the triple to sit too.
Well, that would be quite the shot.
That would be. Trevor just missed it by a hair last time, so you never
Yeah.
know. Regardless, they want to make contact with some yellow rocks, I'm sure. Rylan's first shot here, and number 6. Looking to red, straight back, red onto red.
Oh, they're waiting a little bit on off and picked off the
thin.
yellow one. Yeah, a little thin. Picked off the back yellow one.
However, it does give them that potential run back with the yellow, red, yellow, perhaps. Or the hit and roll in for 1 on his last one. So what do you think Owens has to do now?
Oh man, he's got to deal with the red one. He's got to cover up that red raise or the red tap. I think.
I think so
If I
too,
can
because
see.
giving up 1 for Team Kleiter is still a pretty much, it's an okay.
Yeah.
So you want to, well, they're going to hit it.
Yeah, cover it up, or actually you can see enough of it to hit it. So
Yeah, if they hit
Hit
that
and sit.
nose,
Yeah.
just off nose, that's going to
Yeah.
be good, pretty good.
yeah,
Roll under a little bit.
yeah. You know, if this was club curling, we'd have each played 6 rocks and been up in the bar drinking by now. 2 teams of 3.
So, James Owens here with his attempted in-turn hit and roll under. And they jumped that one out of his hand. Now they're cleaning. Will this come up enough? He might be jamming the back one.
Oh my goodness.
And he did. However, he still remains
Yellows are
shot lock.
shot.
Not,
But
not the end of the world, but now Kleiter has a decision to make here. Do you go after that yellow with the run, or do you do it with a hack weight shot?
well, I think the way they come in there with the hack weight, the way the rocks finish on this ice, you could probably come in with a hack weight shot, hit this and roll over to the other red one.
I see Trevor was running his broom like he wants to run back. We'll see
Yeah.
what they. Even if
Trevor-
what if you froze on that yellow and that gives them 1? They'll have a tough shot to get 2.
Interesting call, D. Yeah. Yes, that might be the call.
But if you hit that yellow on 3/4 on the center line side, I think you do make the run back too.
Yep.
It's all about what you're seeing and what you're comfortable with, I think. Trevor's come in to give his 5 cents.
Well, I think that's the shot they're going to play. They just got to
Line it up
ice
now.
it properly.
Yeah.
Line it up, ice it properly, figure out where you have to hit the rock so that everybody's on the same page.
I think that's the highest percentage shot, Eugene, as well.
Yeah.
And if you hit it really good, you might get a chance of a steal. You never know.
Yeah.
It's funny when you look on the overhead view, the distance between those two guards seem like quite a bit, but when you look on the other view, they look like they're almost frozen, don't they?
Yeah, for sure.
It's throwing the in turn with negative ice, so they look like they're hoping it's going to fall back a little bit.
Oh,
Or they're going to rely on Trevor to hold the line.
this is going to be close. Yes,
Good
it
shot.
is. Better than close. Perfect shot. Great shot. Wow, did this end turn around in a hurry?
In a quick
Wow.
hurry.
Wow.
And now they're going to have a hard time getting that line to get to the 4-foot with all those guards up there. He does have the backing there, mind you, that can save him, but sometimes we know what happens when you have backing.
Yeah. You think you can use it?
Yeah. I'm sure James will be very close. He's been pretty close with his weights there, other than the fifth end there, but
Oh, just took a little more ice. Making sure.
last rock. End number 6, drawing to the 4-foot for a single point. They got a broom down right away, and the third man is coming up to help.
Wow, is he light on this?
I believe he is. There is a big steal.
Wow.
Once again, Eugene, no one wants hammer in this game, that's for sure.
It's your game. No, it's your game.
As after 6 ends of play, Team Kleiter now takes the lead of 4-3 going into the 7th end of play.
Game of steals.
Holy.
You silence the doubters. You get the best tools. You work with the right people. You look to the future and bust through.
With SaskTel sponsorships, we get to be a part of your community. SaskTel cares. Always has, always will. To apply for sponsorship, visit SaskTel.com/sponsorships.
Well, welcome back to the Swift Current Curling Club and the Saskatchewan Curling Tour Players Championship. An uncharacteristic missed draw here by James Owens in the in the 6th allowed Kleiter to steal 2 to take a 1-point lead into the 7th. And I don't know, Eugene, I think that they might have been out in the path there that they weren't, haven't thrown many rocks. And
Right, we saw that earlier in the end where we thought that there was a lot of weight, but the rocks slowed down, coming out wide. And that's interesting. Sometimes you get out a little wider and the ice is fresher and keener, and other times it's a little more sluggish.
then sometimes after a big shot from the opposition, the other player has to learn how to mentally regroup and make that next shot. It's not always that easy sometimes.
No, you got to block it out, and you just got to focus on moving ahead. If you lament on the past, it's not going to help you, unless there's something to be learned from it. But I don't think there's a lot to
So it looks like Kleiter ended up putting up a guard just over the hog line, and Owens decided to come around it. So I think they want to go for the blank versus a 2 this end, which makes sense because you want to have Hammer playing that last end, even if you are down 1. Although in this game, Eugene, I'm not sure you want Hammer.
It doesn't seem to be an advantage.
There's been 1 point scored with Hammer so far this game.
Isn't that something? How often do you see that? Well, there's a good shot.
Sure, was he playing the freeze on that? I didn't see the call.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Looks like that's the strategy of Team Kleiter is going to be to try to force one here. The guy to get a tie game and the all important or the all unimportant Hammer coming home. I'm trying to get an update on the other sheets here, Eugene, but my computer is not refreshing. James must be using up too much of my Wi-Fi.
I'll check whether I've got anything here. Where are we? Yes, I'll do a quick rundown. Oh, it is 3-1. It's Jacobs over Andrews 3-1. St. John over, and this is after 7. St. John over Meacham 5-4. Zervloff is up over Cars 6-2 after 6 ends, and Knapp is over Edie 6-4 after 7 ends. And Hartung is up over Gamble 5-2 after 7 ends. So all relatively close games.
Yeah, very good. That's when you get the good competition together like that, that's usually what happens. Yeah, close games. Here looks like a really nice shot coming in from Josh. I'd say that's his best shot of the game right there, and it could be a big one.
Great spot for it. Is the pronunciation Zuraloff?
I believe it's Zuraloff.
Zuraloff. That game is over. They shook hands after 6 over Cars 6-2. They obviously weren't watching. Yeah, they obviously weren't watching this sheet to realize that being down 3 or 4 points without the hammer isn't that serious.
So here's a really big break for Kleiter as I believe that was Josh, came in a little bit too tight and chapped off the red, and now Kleiter's got an easy hit nose to sit 2 buried, or to sit 1 buried for sure. But our hit and roll under's not bad right now either, actually.
No kidding.
What do you like better, Gene? Hit and roll to the open side and make the yellows go away, or just hit and roll under for now?
Well, if you hit on the outside, I think the drag is going to He's going to leave the red rock buried. So I'm having trouble seeing exactly how it's lined up here, but I think a hit on the outside.
You potentially, if you hit and roll to the outside and make the double, you might leave another double back for them to be buried as well, right?
Unless you roll far enough, like out to the 12-foot.
Correct.
And I think you might have to roll that far in order to make this raised double. I think the angle is such. It might be easier, just as you said, Dean, to play off the inside of the yellow one and roll into the button, because that makes the house really small then for a second point.
Yep.
And as you indicated earlier, the strategy here is to try to hold Owens
to 1 point so that you can be tied up coming home with.
Yep, and it is very early in the end, so it looks like they've elected to play the double this time. They're never a bad call if you make the shot, right, Eugene?
Yeah, it's surprising how strategy doesn't mean a whole lot if you make every shot perfectly.
This one's very close.
And he's got the roll in. No, he didn't roll in, but I think he still leaves the two reds in a pretty good spot.
Might be not bad, yeah. I don't know that they can, might be the best shot he could have made.
Yeah, just as good.
nothing wrong with that, leave.
Sounds like there's another game over, and that's between Jesse St. John and Sean Meacham. Jesse St. John just scored 4 in the 7th end to go up 9-4, and that game's over.
That's a very good team, and that Jesse St. John too, and we've watched them play a little bit this year. They don't play a lot, but the times I have, I've seen a lot of great shots being made.
Yes, I watched them at Mutana earlier in the season, and man, they played the final. I forget who they played the final against. And they're awesome, deadly.
Looks like they're trying to do a little tap and roll under, are they, for now?
I think that's their safest shot.
Yep. We'll have to flirt with the guard a little bit there, but this one is hanging out there, though.
And is it going to finish enough?
Yes, very nice shot.
Yeah. Still leaves Kleiter in a pretty good spot here. What do you do now? Do you leave that side alone and come around the other side into the 4-foot?
I love that. I love that freeze, yeah.
Yeah.
In-turn freeze. And even if you move it a bit, then it lines up that red so they can't run the yellow straight back into red anymore.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that'll be good.
But freeze is obviously, I think, the best shot.
Yeah.
So Trevor Johnson will attempt that in-turn corner freeze. Like they're a little bit tight right now. Looks a little heavy as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot heavy there. Hack weight. But it did move the yellow, so now it's not. It's kind of not all bad.
It wasn't a bad miss. Not that bad of a miss. It would have been better if they would have thrown a draw right in there, but taking this over gives backing for the red one. It's going to be harder to
do anything with it. So Owens has got to figure out what he can do to create an advantage here, which isn't very much.
There isn't. I don't know. Other than maybe playing the exact freeze that Kleiter tried, I don't know that he's got another shot, does he?
No, he doesn't really. I don't know what he's looking at. There's a lot of risk playing this red one back. He's trying to hit the red one across the top, or the yellow one across the top of the red one to drive the red one straight back. But boy, if you don't hit it just right and jam the red one.
You know what I'm seeing right now, Gene, is peeling that center guard so that on your next one you might have that yellow-red double.
No kidding. That's a good
three,
call.
right?
Good call. Yeah, I think the attention's all been so far right around the 4 foot with draws and taps, and it maybe lost the vision on something else out of the box here. And
because I don't think there's a way you can get rid of that red one, is there?
No, I don't think there is.
Well, no matter how thin you hit it, it's still dragging into that yellow, I believe.
Yeah. Unless he's looking at maybe cleaning everything out of there. And
yeah, and then I guess you sit shot with your yellow in the top 4, right?
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
So this will be, well, I was going to say he thought it'd be coming down quite hard, but that's a lot of ice, so it's not going to be that hard.
So Carter Toronto with the tap back, tap, tap, tap back, tap.
That sounded like a tap dance.
And it's coming in there pretty good.
Okay, and then across this, across the top.
Very good, actually. That's a good setup shot. But does give Kleiter the opportunity to have another chance at a freeze.
Or does he cover up the yellow rays, double yellow rays?
Yeah, that would be the other option.
So he's got to make a decision.
I kind of like that call yours, Eugene, maybe. Yeah.
Protect what you have?
Protect the point.
Yeah. Looking across the other provinces, BC and Alberta, I was noticing how the BC men, BC women, they're running a triple knockout, 4-team playoff page system. Alberta men's, same thing. But Alberta women, they went with an 8-team round robin and then a 3-team playoff. First gets a bye into the provincial final, and the second and third place teams playing off for playing off in the semis. And there's in Alberta Scheidegger, Rock, and Laura Walker that are each at 6-1, and I haven't had a look yet. Can't figure out what position they ended up in terms of first, second, and third. So it's interesting to see Alberta women playing a different format than the other 3 provinces.
So they've elected to play the same shot Trevor just threw. It looks like this one will be a little closer than the last one. They're still not touching it yet, though. The key is to get second shot here, right?
And it's going to be close.
Did just that. Good shot there, Trevor.
Yeah.
What do they got here, Eugene? Have they got a big shot to count to sit a whole bunch?
Depends how these 2 red ones are lined up here. I haven't got a real good view of it.
I think if he gets close to nose on that yellow, that you could get rid of both reds, but it's pretty tough.
Well, I agree, Dean. It's, within a half an inch of making or missing it, so it's not going to be easy if that's the shot that they're going to play.
It's almost automatic to get rid of one of the reds, but I'm not sure both go.
Right.
If they do, say he hits that yellow one on the nose, just off nose, yellow goes into yellow, into red, and if he does double them out, he's probably losing that one because it's going to roll up. But
and the shooter isn't, and the shooter won't count because it's out in the 12-foot.
So he'll be sitting 2.
Yeah.
Because you'll have that one in the back 4 and the one in the top 4.
Yeah. This is a shot for 2.
Or to sit 2, I guess. Yeah, they still got.
Oh, they're still. Oh, yes,
still
they each got a stone.
5 shots to come yet, so I guess there's lots of end left. And again, he's got some negative ice there with the outturn. Must be thinking it's going to fall a little bit.
Wow, he let that go with a little bit of steam.
Very tight on that one.
Well, that,
Carter won't be happy with that.
no, and that opened up the front stuff, but I don't know whether that's changed anything for.
I'm thinking now your
Kleiter.
guard has to be there, Eugene, doesn't it?
I think you have to protect what you have now. Yeah, the only shot that I can see
Remaining for the yellow for Owens is to run those 2 yellow on ends again.
And if Kleiter guards the 2 yellows, Owens is going to have the draw, but that'll only give a maximum of 1. So then that would be an accomplishment for Team Kleiter to give up 1.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's huge. You'd love to be tied up coming home.
I don't know what the percentage is with at this level of curling, but I think the advantage definitely is with the team that's tied up coming home with, in spite of the 5-rock rule. Looks like Trevor's coming down to have a look at the situation.
Give his piece. Trevor was longtime third with the Team Kleiter, so he's definitely not this is nothing new for him to be looking at the angles and deciding where it needs to go. However, in this game, I think they felt having Trevor sweeping and understanding the release of Rylan throwing his draws makes more sense than calling the line.
Well, there's certainly a lot of discussions as to, and again, it isn't always, what are you going to make here? What are you going to leave? Because
exactly,
you can't take away every shot.
And if I'm Owens, Eugene, like we talked about, what do I want to see Kleiter not do? And I don't want him to throw his guard.
Exactly. So
that's definitely something that the Kleiter team's got to deal with.
Been a fairly long game, Eugene.
Well, the last couple ends have certainly slowed down. There's been
that's true. That's where they did lose a bit of time.
Yeah, fair bit of discussion.
So out-turn draw here by Rylan, trying to just block off that run back on the yellows.
Mm-hmm.
Trevor's not wanting to sweep it yet.
Well, it looks like it must be close.
And he's right off it now. And did it over curl, or is he good? I believe it did over curl.
Yeah, maybe he still left it.
He did.
He might have made it a little tougher because you almost have to hit the yellow one on the inside. And I don't know whether they can get
inside to right. But I think if he hits the outside, he'll still get his 1.
Still get the 1, maybe.
Yeah. But that was the pro miss again. Could have been a foot on the other side of the rock.
Yeah. I think there's enough sticking out. Again, one of these shots where you only have maybe half an inch to play with. If it over curls by half an inch, you tick. If you sit out too far, you could hit the yellow one into the top of the red one, and the other red one on the button would be counting.
That's true. So I think if he hits what he sees, he'll be sitting 1 after this, but he'll also be sitting third and fourth shot as well.
Yeah.
They're on the broom right away. Very close. And as they get shot rock, it's going to be close. It looks like it from here.
Maybe. Rylan. You tap
Rylan
the yellow.
indicated that, yep.
Oh, there's a double off the outside yellow one.
It's fairly flat, but with the up weight, you're good.
Boy, you'd hate to hit that thin and take out your 2 red and give them a draw for 3.
That makes me shudder, Dean. That is.
But I think they want to take away that shot because that is the in-off for 3
Yes,
as well,
it is.
right?
It is for sure. And I think you can come in off and come into the pocket between the reds and the yellows and still be in a pretty good spot. Hopefully hit the yellow rock out toward the front a bit.
Do you ever play the draw in there again? Just
Yeah,
leave another one on the red?
You know what? Throw an in-turn draw and make the shot for 2
Really difficult because that would only leave a draw with the out turn to a part of the button.
There is a bit of risk on this one, for sure.
Especially if they
roll and leave it in the wrong place.
Yeah, you almost think maybe peeling it out is better if you don't roll in the right spot.
That's true. They may end up rolling kind of on the front of it so that it could leave a red double.
So Kleiter last shot here, and he's then number 7, out turn, hit and roll is the attempt. They're on it right out of his hand.
Oh, this might be okay then. Uh-oh.
I think they made the double a little steeper.
Yeah, it is a little steeper for sure.
Definitely needed to roll a bit further.
Mm-hmm.
So you could pick it out here, Eugene, for 2.
Yes.
You could draw a tap for 2.
Or skinny double for 3.
Or skinny double for 3, yeah. What are you playing here?
If I was their age or at my age?
When you were in your prime.
I think
last
skinny
year.
double. You mean last decade or 2 decades ago? It's been 36 years since I curled at the Briar now. That's a long time.
That's a long time. Where was that Briar in?
in '85.
And where was it located?
Moncton Briar, 1985.
Okay. Yeah.
We lost to Hackner in the semifinal, and that was that fateful Briar that Hackner made the skinny double on the was at the 10th end, and it went to an extra end, and Pat Ryan was heavy in the draw.
Great. I remember that one, yeah.
We were standing in the player boxes waiting for closing ceremonies when we watched Pat's draw slide a little deep on the extra end. So
But
here's
around
the
this
big
one,
shot.
he looks pretty close.
Oh, is he going to hit it too fat? No.
Great shot.
There you
But
go.
did lose his, so he did get his 2.
Yeah.
So after 7 ends of play, the Team Owens now takes back the lead with hammer or without hammer by a score of 5-4 as we go into the 8th end.
Saskatchewan, you know SaskTel because we're everywhere. Because being everywhere keeps us connected to you. With SaskTel sponsorships, we get to be part of your community. We're here with you and we're here for you. It's easy to get started. All you need to do is apply. SaskTel cares. Always has, always will. To apply for sponsorship, visit sastel.com/sponsorships.
All right, welcome back to the Swift Current Curling Center here of the Sask Curling Tour Players Championship. We are the last game left on the sheet of 6 games. So the last couple ends, Eugene, have taken a bit of time, but there were a lot of rocks and interesting plays or shots being done as well.
Yes, it'll be nice and quiet for these guys
Playing the last end. The remaining games are all over. Gamble defeated, or Hartung defeated Gamble. Knapp defeated Eid. Zavarov defeated Cars. St. John defeated Meacham. And Jacobson defeated Andrews.
So here in the 8th now, you tend to like to have hammer, and going for your 2 is usually a pretty good high percentage chance. So we'll see if Kleiter can take advantage of this hammer going into the very final end. And they do start with their corner guard, as you know that the Owens team will be trying to basically play a steal for this, because trying to limit to 1 usually does not work in this game anymore. So Josh Usick, after throwing a nice one into the top 8, well, now looks like a nice center guard as well.
Yeah.
Good setup. Kleiter will ignore that for now and try to get the patented deuce set up with another one around the guard. I was thinking maybe they might go with another corner guard, but maybe that's too much in the middle.
About that. Yeah.
If one was high and one low, then they could, but even the way even if it is a little bit low, you have a corner guard on the other side perhaps, but you want to keep your runway available for the button if you need that on your last
for
shot
sure.
too.
Yeah, you've got to have a bailout shot here. You want to be able to at least count your 1 point. So
it looks like they've elected to go around the corner guard. Ideally, where do you want this one, Eugene, in the house?
Well, I would think behind the T line, so I just so that the other team can't come in off of it.
And buried is number 1.
And buried, number 1, buried. Like that's the main thing, buried. And on the rings, is it?
Looking at it, might be a little bit short, I think.
Well, they're not
Making a play at it, so it's probably short.
There's an example of where 2 sweepers would probably have got that one there, right?
Yeah.
So James has asked Josh Usick to kind of freeze on that yellow, maybe give it a bit of a tap, but just to make it 2 shots away from removing both those rocks. So it's a really good call. This one is really out there right now. And he might end up going around it to the 4-foot.
Oh, it looks like that, or maybe even deeper. Oh,
just a little rub. So now the run back attempt, and the big key here, Gene, is of course they want to keep
the
their shooter, right?
Yeah, leave the shooter up front someplace.
You can't peel out. This is where the top level teams are so good, Eugene? Like
isn't it crazy?
they can make this triple and roll to a corner guard and have their deuce all set up, ready to seal.
Yes, it was interesting at the Olympic trials here in Saskatoon. I was volunteering, and after the last draw, Gushu's team, Jacob's team, they'd come out and early in the morning if they had ice booked for practice, and they would throw run backs after run backs. This is such a big part of the game nowadays. Right here's why. We're
This
close
looks pretty
here.
good.
1, 2.
Oh, just a little bit unfortunate again on their run backs. Yeah.
Wow. That's 3 or 4 times that just on the wrong side of the half inch.
Yep. Now the Owens team has an option. Do they start peeling away,
No, that's a good question.
or do you go hard? Looks like they've decided that the best defense is a good offense.
And I think so. We've got 5 rocks in play, and one of theirs is behind the tee line. So,
I like this call too.
yeah, they have to look at playing it as if they want to steal. Huge finish from out here. Look at this.
Yeah, you could get it almost. If he's got the weight, it'll be a very nice shot.
And he did sneak it in behind. Well, we'll see if they're going to be on the right side of the half inch this time.
Yeah, if they can hit that on the same spot as last time, that
Pretty
should
much.
make it'll look really good. Yeah,
Yeah. Pretty
just
much.
off nose. This is way curling hard out of his hand, it looks like.
And he's got 1, 2, and
Good shot. It was a good
you
sweep.
get the double. Great sweep. Yeah. Still, Owens has got an opportunity to get one behind cover and keep Kleiter a little bit on the defense. Kleiter wants to count 1 for sure. So
The key was there to keep their shooter after hitting that, and they did. Ideally, rolling to the corner would have been a little better, but keeping that shooter around is so important. But this Owens team is never saying die. They're firing him in there. Carter looks a bit heavy on this one.
yeah, not bad. A little bit deep.
Now, do you ever come down and freeze to that, Eugene, or is it a hit and
Well,
roll on top
I
right
think
now the
that
shot?
I'm just wondering if that red one isn't biting out front, so maybe a double
Oh,
here
yes.
is going to. Depends. I think with the way they're calling this, the red one is biting. Because if the red one was out, you're right. A freeze in the pocket would be the answer.
Trevor will attempt a little tap and roll on top. So he's got a bit of curling to do.
Oh, it doesn't come up very much there, does it? Oh, yes, it did.
It's just a little heavy on that.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll will now try to hit and roll under.
boy, I don't know. I'm still wondering whether that red rock is biting out front. If they're playing the hit and roll, I don't think that red one is biting because
Otherwise, you play the double to sit too, right?
yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. So now they're going to have to make probably a couple of freezes now, I think. As Carter's trying to
Over
hit
curling.
and roll.
No, it's not over curling.
It's a good shot. You're getting close to the being in front of the tee, but not quite there yet. So I don't know if you want to roll and behind that center guard or not, Eugene.
Or roll over to the corner.
Yeah. Roll in front of the yellow.
Right there, yes. Or roll to that corner.
Because if you roll under, he's freezing on you, and that shrinks that chance to score too.
Sure
I like the
does.
hit and roll in front of the yellow.
Mm-hmm.
So Trevor Johnson with his final shot here at number 8, trying to hit and roll. We're not sure which way. Looks like it's going to be to the right for sure. It's how far will he roll?
And he rolled
Just a little too far. So that'll open up the door for Owens to get one around that center guard now.
Yes, it's a good finish here too, so they've got to take a lot of ice.
So he has had a bit of trouble with his last couple of draws, so we'll see if he's been able to pull that weight back into his back pocket. James Owens ready to throw his first shot here at number 8.
Weight looks good. Nobody seems too anxious to do much of anything.
Keeper is just standing up right now. I think they're looking at maybe plan B. Now, did he leave a double to sit 2?
Yes, he did. Wow.
So, Eugene, you make the double to sit 2. They're going to probably go around the center. Do you beat him around the center?
Good question. You know, the way Owens has been drawing today, I would maybe leave that shot for him. He hasn't had his draw weight down, and take your chances.
Yeah, I think I'd be with you. I think I would go with the double, sit 2, let him try the double. Or if he does decide to draw, like you said, there's probably going to be a pick. Unless he makes it perfect, you should be able to pick it out and still get your deuce out of it, right?
Yeah.
I think they're also making sure they don't leave a double either.
Well, that'd be ideal if they don't. I think it's going to be hard not to leave a double because I don't know where you can go with your shooter such that it doesn't.
The shooter's probably kicking up, isn't it? Unless you hit it really thin, it's going to kick up into the other red one.
Yeah. You know, leaving 2 red rocks really close together and leaving an attempted double for Owens, if he makes it and rolls out, I still think there's a tick off of that rock that's just short in a 12-foot for a deuce.
Yes. So Kleiter, first rock here at number 8, throwing the out turn, we think double, but maybe hit and roll. This has to curl up. And is it going to curl enough?
1, 2.
Great shot.
It is a good shot.
Probably the best he could have did.
Boy, he ended up in a great spot with that. That's a pretty skinny double. I think Owens has got to come around the center guard and try to bury it. I don't know that you want to come any more than full 8 foot, because I think if you come into the forefoot, the way the rocks finish, Rylan should be able to come around with, just through the house weight or hack weight and tap it out.
Yeah, so you're right. If you can be buried probably full 8
Full
foot.
8 foot. Yeah.
Yep.
And then that would
likely force Rylan to throw a draw for 1. Or, mind you, if he's just full 8 foot, maybe Rylan would throw a straight back.
Yeah,
double.
that's
You
right. You
count.
just have to make contact, right?
Just make contact on the right side, and you're going to get your deuce that way too.
So James Owens with his final shot here in number 8, needing to get one buried behind the center guard. And he's got Josh Uzak sweeping this one. And they got it clean right now, so I'm thinking they must be close. Although the line is way out there.
But there's been a pretty good finish here, hasn't there? Oh, not on this one.
This one's going to maybe come to the red.
It looks like it's going to over curl.
Kind of right in
My
between.
goodness. That's just almost the worst spot. I think all
That's a really
Rylan
big
has to do. Yeah,
opportunity, is just a nose hit.
nose
for
hit
the
or
win.
hit on the outside and roll out through the port. Hit an inch of it and then make it go away. And they get their deuce.
Yeah, I don't think there's any rock he can jam it on even.
No, nose
as he
hit would be
makes-
fine. Nose hit to hitting anywhere on the outside and rolling out.
Yeah. Key here is just not to overthrow it and just nice and clean, and usually becomes a good result. Last rock and number 8, Rylan Kleiter throwing the hit for the win. They're on it now. This one is really curling. Is he going to get... The line is good.
4-3.
Well,
That-
quite an interesting game, man. Back and forth. Lots of interesting ends. Lots of good shots.
It was
Fun
good to
game.
see that the hammer in 7 and 8 actually worked. So we know
Yeah.
that it is a good idea to have hammer.
Yeah.
Thanks for showing up today, guys, and we'll see you tomorrow morning at 8:30.
Is that when it is? Okay, I'll have to make sure I set the alarm.
All right.
Bye
Good
now.
night.
Saskatchewan, you know SaskTel because we're everywhere. Because being everywhere keeps us connected to you. You are what matters most. With SaskTel sponsorships, we get to be a part of your community. From the dance competitions, to the rodeos, to helping discover and embrace technology across the province, we're here with you and we're here for you. It's easy to get started. All you need to do is apply. Every year, SaskTel contributes nearly $3 million to approximately 1,000 nonprofits, charities, associations, and events in more than 200 communities across Saskatchewan. So keep dancing, keep laughing, keep discovering, and we'll be there to help, to lend a hand, and join in the fun. SaskTel cares. Always has, always will, because we are dedicated to our home. To apply for sponsorship, visit